our DNA world is a gold rush. And there's an awful lot of gold to be found. You know, if you could cut the incidence of cancer by half, you'd say, you know, you've done a lot. A lot of, you know, what we call genetic diseases. I mean, a lot of Down syndrome, any of sickle cell anemia, Tay-Sachs, muscular dystrophy, they're all due to the fact that one has inherited a gene which isn't quite perfect. And so you're going to be able to spot that the DNA isn't perfect. And a lot of people will be very pleased with that.
About the Human Genome Project, as it's called, Dr. Watson says we used to think our fate was in our stars. Now we know that in large measure, our fate is in our genes. An army of scientists around the world is now aiming at a cure for more than 10,000 diseases. Heading one team at the National Institutes of Health is Dr. Craig Venter.
It wasn't until the work of Dr. Watson that we began to even understand the structure of DNA, the blueprint for living beings, whether it be plants, animals, bacteria, it doesn't matter. It's the blueprint of life. Contained in this DNA structure, in this sequence, is the blueprint for all living species.
We are all born with DNA, a set of instructions that make up the human being. We all have genes which determine our sex, size, coloring, intelligence. They can have an impact on behavior and even creativity, and they also carry our predisposition to inherited diseases. When scientists are able to decipher the complete language contained within our DNA, it will tell them everything about human life, everything from evolution to predicting and preventing disease.
In 50 years, it's certainly possible that all genetic diseases, or most of them, could be eliminated or treated very effectively. 500 diseases can be attributed to a change in a single gene. Now, those are going to be, in theory, amenable to gene therapy, where replacement genes could be given to those individuals to overcome the defect. We're going to be learning vast amounts of new information about biology of human beings that we have never even imagined before. And that information base is going to affect every disease across the board, whether it has a genetic component or not.
Even the common cold is likely to become a thing of the past, along with Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, schizophrenia, heart disease, hypertension, manic depression.
The information, it's going to come so fast. You know, the excitement of being a scientist is understanding how things work, where we come from, and how to affect it to make the world more positive. And we've never had such tools and such information. It's clearly the most exciting time in the history to be a scientist.
Are there any scientists who you can think of whose brain you might like to have? Ben?
Benjamin Franklin's. Albert Einstein. George Washington Carver's.
As you visit a science class, you can't help but wonder where the next Jarvik is, where the next Nobel-winning Watson is, perhaps right there. And is that the young mind that will find a cure for AIDS? If the trends hold true, and if the predictions are accurate, it will be an exciting time to be a scientist. No 50-year period has ever begun with so much promise for so much advancement and achievement in medical science.
And what about today's most virulent diseases, cancer and AIDS? Will they still be with us? Medical futurists tell us breakthroughs are always possible, but there are no absolute cures on the horizon. Still, we will almost certainly learn more about how to keep ourselves healthy, and that in itself will let us lead longer lives.
But it is not only our health we'll worry about in the future. We are already terrorized by crime in our city streets. Will it be even worse 50 years from now? And how will we respond? Tonight we have shown you how life may be better in 2039. When we come back, we'll take you to a much darker reality, a shadowy future there is still time to prevent.
Tonight's ABC News special, The Electronic Time Machine, will continue in a moment.
Free enterprise, free elections, new political freedom behind the Iron Curtain. Is it the decline of communism? On the eve of the NATO summit, ABC News reports from the White House, West Germany, Hungary, Moscow. Peter Jennings takes you beyond the Cold War an ABC News special next Thursday. Everywhere in the world, news is happening. ABC News Nightline and KXOY News 4 at 11 take you there. Everywhere. Ted Koppel. Everywhere. Rick Douglas. Karen Kelly. Everywhere. Steve Mum. Everywhere. Depend on KXOY News 4 and ABC News Nightline to bring you all the news. Everywhere.
This KXLY News Brief is brought to you by Bonneville Power.
Good evening. Angry Spokane parents finally got some answers tonight about the radon problem in local schools. We'll have a report. And in New Jersey, at the biggest Exxon annual meeting in 20 years, management got an earful from angry shareholders. Some asked for the head of Exxon's chairman. Now this.
A Super Good Sense home keeps winter cold out. Energy bills down, and it's certified energy efficient by your electric utility. Super Good Sense. Insist on it.
Coming up, a lightning victim in Walla Walla, a warning to Americans in Beijing, and a ban on spuds. Join us for News 4 at 11.
Beach pollution update on the next USA Today. 1939, 1989, the year 2039. The electronic time machine continues. Here again are Far Sawyer and Paula Zahn.
Scientists are fond of telling us that technology is neither good nor evil. It simply exists, like a genie let out of the bottle, waiting for our commands. Tonight, we've shown you the benefits of technology in a future world, the sun harnessed, the mysteries of our genetic code finally solved.
But what if we aren't careful? What if, in our rush toward greater scientific knowledge, we do nothing to solve the growing epidemic of crime and violence in America? We've used the visions we've found in films to help create a world futurists say could exist 50 years from now. Brace yourselves. Our time machine is setting down next in a twilight country, still called the United States, but it's like no place you've ever seen before. In 2039 will be a crowded world, the population twice what it is now, and it will be divided. The rich enjoying the advances of science, the poor struggling to survive.
Because people are so tightly put together, so tightly welded electronically, the places that flourish in the 21st century will look like Japan. The places that don't flourish will look like Beirut. It's all neighborhoods and essentially drug gangs, narco-terrorists, groups who are crossed. They're just a boiling mess of religion and ethnic hatred and black market profit and political manipulation. And no one dares to go in.
In fact, 2039 will be a strange combination of order and violence, a haunting mix of decay and high tech. And behind it all, for good and for bad, will be the driving power of computers.
Attention all stations, I have a temporary blockage affecting...
Machines with almost human intelligence will form a global tracking network, monitoring everything from financial transactions to secret corporate strategies. Information will become the world's most precious commodity.
Computers are going to be both the greatest crime generators and greatest crime solvers of the future. They are going to open up whole new technologies in terms of stealing, in terms of blackmail, in terms of theft of trade secrets that we probably haven't even dreamt of today.
The criminal hackers of 1989 will evolve into a new, even more dangerous breed. Outlaws who specialize in breaking through electronic security systems. It'll be